Good morning. My name is Alvin Roche,
Yes, sir.
and my left is Mrs. Pearl Wise, and to my right is Mr. Pete Freeman. We'll compose your panel and consider your early release this morning.
Yes, sir.
Would you please give us your full name and your Department of Corrections ID?
Marcel Arthurly, 592-316.
Thank you, Mr. Arthur Lee. Let me explain the process to you. I will read some information into the record. Once that information is in the record, we'll conduct a parole interview with you. At the appropriate time, we will give Warden Goodwin a chance to make comments or remarks if he wishes. Then we have Ms. Megan Franklin, your sister, that would like to make a statement on your behalf. At the very end, before we vote, we'll allow you to make a brief statement on your behalf. Do you understand the process?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Marcel Arthur Lee, you are a third felony offender. Your offenses are monetary instrument abuse, 15 counts. Monetary instrument abuse, 3 counts. Theft of goods, less than $2,500. Monetary instrument abuse, monetary instrument abuse, monetary instrument abuse, 3 counts. Distribution of Schedule 2 controlled substance, crack cocaine, monetary instrument abuse, and 6 counts of identity theft. Did I get everything?
Yes, sir. But I'm a second offender. I'm not a third.
Okay. 1 second. My report says third, and your master record says second. So you're a second offender.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You were sentenced on October 25th, 2017. It looked like you were revoked and sentenced again on August 9th, 2018. Then you were sentenced on additional charges on September 12th, 2018, October 3rd, 2018, and January 9th, 2020. So I'm not going to go through the entire sentencing process. Your total sentence is 20 years. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Is all that information correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll get back to your parole date was November 11th, 2021. You have a good time date coming up, February 13th, 2023, and a full term date, November 11th, 2036. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Your case has been assigned to Mrs. Wise. Would you please answer Mrs. Wise's question?
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Call out for the record how long you have actually served on this 20-year sentence.
When I first, it was 18 months, and then now it's been 4.5 years.
Okay, so it's 18 months plus 4.5 years?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay, all right. I see you got 375 days of programs. Tell me the top 3 programs you've taken that meant the most to you.
My reentry program,
Okay,
the parenting program, and substance abuse.
okay. Now tell me one thing you learned in each one of them that really stood out. I mean, something you didn't know before. In the reentry program.
In the reentry program, it taught me more to make the better choice in life, you know, that I have options outside of committing crimes or doing something illegal or making the wrong decisions. In the parenting class, I'm a father, I have daughters, and you know, a lot of times when you have a criminal mindset, you tend to lack on giving them the love and affection that they need because you're preoccupied doing other things. And in that parenting class, it taught me if I can put those things to the side, I have more time that I can spend with my daughters, you know, and that's ultimately the goal. The substance abuse, that's a hard one because I really never had a real substance abuse problem. I've known people who have, and that class right there teaches you pretty much to stay away from those type of things. You know, the judgments, the bad judgments that you can make when you're intoxicated, the type of mindset you're in where you might normally not do something. In this aspect, you do it because you're not thinking clearly.
Oh, good. And I saw you lost 90 days of programs. What was that about?
It was according to some write-ups that I had received. One of them was a contraband write-up.
What was the contraband? What was the contraband?
A cell phone.
Remember when that was? How long ago was that?
Over 2 years ago.
Okay. And the other ones you lost, what was it?
I caught one, two here, one here that I lost 30 days on. I had a wick, and
Yeah,
I was supposed to have. Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
I remember reading about the wick.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Yeah.
It was kind of like trying to have a candle in your room. What were y'all doing?
Ma'am?
Well, it was kind of like having a candle in your room. What was the wick for?
No, ma'am. I smoked cigarettes at the time, and I was trying to light a cigarette. I knew it was wrong, but it was kind of hard to stop.
So you stopped smoking cigarettes?
Yes, ma'am. I ain't smoked a cigarette. I'm sorry. I haven't smoked in over 2 years. Well, since that happened.
That feels good, doesn't it?
Yes, ma'am. I breathe a lot better. I'm sorry.
That's what I meant by feel better. Your body started doing it. You start to feel better. Okay, very good. So your time has been well spent. Now, when I look at your supervision record, you got sentenced 9/25 to 17. You got revoked 8/9 to 18. You didn't make a year on supervision this second time.
Yes,
I'm just stating that for the record. Just stating that
yes,
for the
ma'am.
record. Now, if you want to tell me something about how you intend to do supervision, because you got a good time date in March of 2023, how you gonna do supervision? What are your thoughts on that?
So far as me being with the early parole, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, even in early parole, but even so, your good time date is February of 2023. I just want, have you thought about how you're going to do supervision? Because you're going to get out, you know, if things stay out the way they are.
Yes, ma'am. Can I state something for the record with what you're saying about me being out to 6 months? I don't know what records y'all have, but if you look at it, what ended up happening was they had put charges on me at that time, and they arrested me on them. When I went up for parole, they revoked me and then dropped the charges because they said I wasn't guilty. That was the reason why it was revoked like that.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
That's why at the time when I went up for the revocation, my attorney.
Tell your plan how you're gonna stay out there and do well on supervision. That's what you want.
Oh, I apologize. So far as the supervision, right now I have.
Put that on the record, and it's on the record. That's fine. So now I'm just looking forward. Now, how you plan? What have you thought about supervision going forward?
Supervision going forward is going to be a lot easier for me this time because I have some things that's going on in my life that's going to be mandatory for me to get out and be successful. One of the main things is my health. I was diagnosed with stage 4 chronic kidney disease in 2019, and I have a kidney function of 14%. They want to start dialysis, but my family's trying to get tested so that I can get a kidney transplant. That by itself, the willing to want to live and make the right choices by itself is going to make me not revoke myself, make me make those decisions that need to be made so that I don't come back to the situation. Because in all honesty, with my health at where it is, if I could ever come back to this situation and make any wrong decision, I'll pretty much die here.
All right, that was my next question. So you had some hospital stays in March of 2022. That answers that. In terms of your current crime, do you have what is your figure, you guess, of how much you stole? Do you know? How much your
No, ma'am.
victims lost because of the check? Do you have any idea?
To be honest, no, ma'am.
In dollars amount?
I
Yes
know
or no? Yes or no?
it was tens of thousands.
Okay. Let me read this to you now, and I just want you to know this. One of your victims said that he's strongly opposed to your early release. He advised that the crime against his business caused him an extreme hassle. He had to cancel his business bank accounts and open a new one. We lost him. He also indicated that the state of Louisiana, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
He indicated the state of Louisiana will be setting a bad example if they allow individuals to steal from small businesses to be released early without serving the full time they were ordered to serve. What do you think about that?
I can't say anything wrong about it. You know, the crimes that I committed against his business. You know,
Many businesses, many.
Many businesses, yes, ma'am. And it came from a place of wrong decisions and greed. I can't, you know, justify my actions in those situations.
No, I know that. I'm not asking you to justify, but I just wanted you to experience what the other side of your crime, what it caused. I just wanted you to speak to that. Do you have any thoughts on that? You've done some victim accountability training, haven't you?
Yes, ma'am. I mean, I understand, I sympathize with the business owner because, you know, it's hard enough trying to run a business on its own without having those type of problems that I caused for him. I'm very apologetic in that, and I would like him to know that those decisions that I made were not intentionally toward his business or any other business. It was just in the scheme of what I was doing at that time with the choices that I had made.
Do you have a trade?
Yes, ma'am.
What is your trade?
I'm A+ certified in computer networking and MCSC certified in Microsoft networking.
You got that since you've been incarcerated?
No, ma'am. I got that prior to me being incarcerated.
You graduated high school?
Yes, ma'am.
What year?
1995.
1995. So if you were successful today, how would you support yourself?
At this point, I would have to apply for disability benefits because due to my medical condition, I wouldn't be able to work.
Okay,
if everything works out and I am able to get the kidney transplant, I will be employable again. My skill set working with computers, my charges would not it wouldn't affect that as much. So I'd be able to support myself in that instance. I've even been considering
when you look crimes though, you had that skill. Why wouldn't you use that skill then?
Because I had gotten an early conviction years ago, right after I got that certification, and it allowed me not to be employable by a lot of companies because I was considered a convicted felon at that time. I was in a DA diversion plan, and
okay.
When they ran my background, the charge still came up until it was disposed of, and a lot of companies didn't want to hire me because of that reason.
Okay, but you know you could have been an entrepreneur.
Yes, ma'am.
Really
I've taken business classes also, but you know, Ms. Wise, making the wrong decisions in life is something I've had. Making the right decisions in life is something I've had problems with. This medical condition I'm dealing with has changed a lot in my life, the way I see things now. And it's more of the ability wanting to be able to live and not live incarcerated. not
Okay.
live with looking over my shoulder behind the police or anything that I've done wrong, and especially not to hurt any more business owners like I did the first time.
All right, thank you. Thank you for answering my question. Warden, what you want to share with us about this young man?
Well, Ms. Wise, as you can tell, Marcel got a very good outgoing personality. He's got good people skills. He's done fairly well since he's been away. He hasn't been away that long, but he got off to a bad start. I think the first month he was here, he had 2 write-ups back in early part of 2021, and he's done very well since that period. He's medium custody, worked his way up, and has been medium custody since December of last year. He's taken a lot of programming, as you mentioned earlier. He has earned 375 days of CTRP credit, and may earn a little bit more before his February good time date. You know, if he doesn't make parole today, he's got the opportunity to earn some additional good time as well. So, but he has done well at this institution, absent those 2 write-ups that he got when he first got here. He still had a little Jones in him about smoking, and he set another fire in his cell when he first got here, trying to light a dried up smokeless tobacco cigarette. I think he probably used his Bible paper to wrap it with, didn't he?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, took a page out of the Bible to wrap it up with. But other than that, he's done well. He's got an excellent attitude, good skills, and he's a very outgoing extrovert, and he's a good, friendly individual with a good personality.
Thank you, Warden. That's all I had, Jim.
One quick question, Mr. Marcel Arthur. In 2020, you had 3 contraband write-ups in a row. That was all cigarettes?
No, sir. All 3 of them was cell phones.
Cell phones, okay. Well, that's better than alcohol. Okay, and when were you diagnosed with your current condition?
June of 2019.
Oh, okay.
That is documented on the medical information in your file, Mr. Freeman. That is correct. It's in your package. You should have a note from the medical department confirming his medical condition.
Okay. Thank you, Warden Goodwin. Thank you, Mr. Marcel.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Arthur, I have one question. You were informed that you were stage 4 kidney failure
Yes, sir.
in June of 19.
Yes, sir.
And I see 5 write-ups in 20 and 21. You knew the day was coming that you would be before us, and you knew disciplinary conduct was very important. I know Warden Goodwin said it's improved, but 5 write-ups, and you know that you have a medical condition that you need to be released. So if you can find a donor, you can get a kidney transplant. Tell me, you're thinking, how would you allow yourself to violate rules and regulations when you knew that you needed to have a clean record when you appeared before us?
At the point when they first told me about my condition, it really didn't sink in at first how critical it was. The more I started going to the doctors, the more critical they were telling me it was, the scared I got. The scared I got, the more wrong decisions I made, until I realized that, you know, this type of behavior keeps going on, I can be subject to actually die in prison. Something that I would never want, not only for myself, but for my family. At the end of the day, those discrepancies that I made are no one's fault but my own. They were poor decision-making, and that's about the best I can say about that. You are right that I should have known about the disciplinary action that have been taken against me, and that this date would come and I would have to answer for those things. But like I said, that it came mostly from fear than anything else. Being 44 years old and being diagnosed with this type of situation that can ultimately be fatal is a hard thing to swallow. And it doesn't make it, I'm not making an excuse, so please don't take that the wrong way. It's just that that's one of the reasons for my actions, more out of fear than anything else.
Thank you, sir. At this time, would you like to make a brief closing statement and tell this panel why we should vote to release you early?
The simplest thing I can say with that is I'm trying to live. The decisions I made in my past, I apologize for. What she read to me about that business owner, that was my first time ever having those type of emotions portrayed toward me of how they actually felt because of what I did. It's one thing to commit a crime and say, oh, it's victimless. And then it's another thing to actually hear what your victims have to say. And that actually really hurt me because, it's one thing to be out there and doing this and that and thinking it's acceptable amongst yourself and your peers, but it's something different when you hear from the people that you hurt. If I do, or y'all give me the ability to grant me this early parole, it will give me an opportunity to get my medical things underway faster. It would also give me a chance to prove not only to myself and to the public that I can be a better person.
Thank you, Mr. Arthur Lee. Is the panel ready to vote?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Mrs. Wise?
Yes, sir. Sir, you are going to get that opportunity to prove it to yourself. And that's the only person you got to prove it to is to yourself. Because you got a good time date of February of 2023. For me. And I'm just one vote. Due to your poor supervision history, the impact of your crime, and the proximity of your good time date, my vote is to deny today. Your last DB for the fine was in March of 2021. That combined with your supervision history, that's very concerning for me. And I understand the psychological and the mental, I do understand that. I'm getting that diagnosis and wrapping your head around that. I get that. But my vote is to deny. But I wish you well. And go ahead and do things you're determined to do. Start writing it down. Start making a written contract with yourself of what you're going to do going forward. Best wishes to you, sir. I don't believe you'll be back. I don't.
Mr. Freeman?
That's a tough one, but looking at everything and looking at your medical condition and the proximity of your good time date, I'm gonna vote to grant. Because I know it's gonna be a lot easier for you to get that kidney if you're on the street than if you're in prison.
Yes, sir.
So, but like I say, you gotta watch yourself and, and make sure you create, a better self. Make your own money, don't take somebody else's.
Yes, sir.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Freeman. Mr. Arthur Lee, you have received 2 votes. I'm sorry, you have received 1 vote to deny your request, 1 vote to grant your request. And I agree with everything Ms. Wise has said. Your supervision history is not what it's supposed to be. You have a good time date in February. But I'm going to vote to grant your request to give you a head start on your medical situation. I think the earlier that you're released, the sooner that you can find a donor. And when you find a donor, it means you can have the procedure. And the positive remarks I would not do this if I didn't have the positive remarks of Warden Goodwin.
Sir.
You have to understand, you have to turn over a new leaf, become a productive member of society, get a job, earn your money, pay taxes. Leave other people's property alone.
Yes, sir.
You have received 2 votes to grant your request, 1 vote to deny your request. This, and we have to see whether or not you're eligible for a 2/3 vote. Give us a second. You have a high school diploma.
Yes, sir.
Have you completed pre-release?
Yes, sir.
Hello, Mr. Testament? Have you completed substance abuse?
Yes, sir.
What substance abuse did you complete?
Living in balance.
Okay.
I don't show where he's completed the 100-hour reentry program, Mr. Roche. I don't have a record of that. You completed that, Marcel? You showed me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'll
sir.
have to double check and confirm that because I don't have that.
Okay, and what we'll do is, I'll ask Mr. Freeman to, amend his vote, and my vote will be to grant upon completion of 100 hours pre-release. Mr. Freeman?
Yes.
I finished in,
Okay, we have his records of Warden Goodwin. And he completed pre-release in, March of 2022.
yes, sir. That's it. Yes, sir.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Miss Wynn is in here and she's oversees that program. She said he has completed, but it just hasn't been noted in his records yet. So I can confirm he has completed it.
I have his record, Warden Goodwin, and the record was printed out today. It is among his programs. He completed phase 1 in February 2022 and phase 2 in March of 2022. So
Thank you, sir.
the vote is to grant your early release with no condition. Now, Mr. Freeman didn't put any conditions on you, so I will. After release, you'll have a curfew from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. You'll attend NAAA meetings twice a week. And a year after you release, I want you to do some community service. 4 hours a month. Get with your pastor, get with your parole officer, and line up some places where you can do some community service.
Okay.
Ms. Arthur, you have received 2 votes to grant your request, 1 vote to deny your request. You are eligible for a 2/3 vote. Therefore, your request has been granted. You have a good.
Thank you.
Warden Goodwin,
Yes, sir.
I move.
as always, we appreciate you. We value your remarks and comments, and you
And then it shut off. That was suspenseful, I have to say. I think that he had a great interview. It could have gone much differently, but he seemed to have pretty decent answers for all of their questions. And I do believe him with what he's saying. He's got a very dangerous disease and he doesn't want to die in prison. They asked him that question multiple times and he answered the same way. 3 cell phones, though, 3 cell phone write-ups. Does that mean that he kept buying new phones? I heard that they're $1,500, so that would have been an expensive period for him. Also surprised Miss Wise rejected. It's not every day that you have Miss Wise deny and then Mr. Roche not deny. That was certainly came out of right field, it felt like to me. And I guess good for him that he's able to get out there. They're really having mercy on him. I don't know, the details. It seems a lot of white collar crime, but then he also had like the Schedule 2 distribution. So, it seems like he was doing a whole lot. It's like, how do you get caught for both of those things? Maybe, yeah, interesting, very interesting. And then there was the last offense that I listened to 3 times. I just couldn't figure out what it was. It sounded like he said like 8 counts of a deadly something. I just didn't know what that was. If any of you heard that and understood, please put it in the comment section. But I'm happy he's getting out. I do believe him. I do think that he is not going to end up back in prison because, like he said, you don't want to be in prison with those type of health problems. You will die in prison. Yeah. So with that, I'll let you go.